don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to be converted. I am what's known as a Western gamer, which means I mostly play games produced in the West for Western audiences. I'm not super into JRPGs. I'm not super into mech games. I've never actually played one before. Not because I don't like them. I've just never really been exposed to them because they are considered extremely niche titles here in the States. However, today I'm hoping that changes because with the launch of Armored Core 6, we could see this subgenre of a niche genre actually expand into something pretty unique. So today, I'm gonna try it and suffer so that you don't have to, and you can see what this game is about from the perspective of somebody that hasn't tried one of these games before. And we are in. We have a mech. We can look, we can jump, we can move. Okay. Oh, and we can sprint too. And like fly, it's like sprint flying. Okay, Jesus. That uses energy or EN. Okay. Interesting. I swear this whole video is gonna be people who like really know mech games, like the back of their hands being like, oh my God, he sucks so bad. And I'm just gonna be like, oh, look at shiny. Okay, so this is standard mech combat as far as I can tell, with everything being really swivelly. This is what I've seen in like trailers and in clips from previous games in this franchise and in the same like subgenre, where it has the big reticle that kind of snaps on, and it's more about movement and placement. It's much more tactical than a lot of combat systems as far as I've been able to tell. But we'll see if that holds up as time goes by. But real quick, I gotta thank my sponsor, Apex Gaming PCs. If you wanted to get into gaming on PC, but you just don't know where to start, or you don't wanna build it yourself, get yourself a very high quality PC built by people that really know their stuff at Apex Gaming PCs. This PC right here that this game is running on in real time, that all of the footage that's used on this channel is produced on and filmed on and by, is an Apex Gaming PC. I wouldn't promote them if I didn't believe in them. I use their product like literally every single day. They built this computer and I cannot praise them highly enough. They are professionals, they do great work, and you should check them out at the link in the video description box below or in the pinned comment. If you use those links, you'll not only save a little bit of money, you'll also support me, and you'll get yourself a badass gaming PC at a very reasonable price, built by people that really know their stuff. What more could you ask for? But okay, back to the video. Now, I actually went into the comment section of a couple of the videos that have been released about Armored Core 6, and I collected comments and questions from people that were interested in the game enough to look at a trailer, but that maybe weren't sold on it entirely. Skeptics, as it were. As it were, as it was, I have no idea. I'm also a proud skeptic as well. I believe that you should not be convinced of anything until there is sufficient evidence to believe that thing. And in the case of a game that's trying to sell you on it and get you to pay 60 bucks for it, I think it's valid to be skeptical, especially when it's in a subgenre that you're not familiar with. So the first question that came up time and time again in that comment section was, why does the game look like it's running on a PlayStation 3? Now, honestly, I think this question is a little bit ridiculous. On the one hand, no part of this in my mind looks like it's running on a PS3. The design might seem PS3-esque, but that's mainly because we haven't had games like this since the PS3 generation. Calm down, there we go. And so that's why it seems like it's from the PS3 generation, because that's when these games were last being produced in a large scale by teams like FromSoftware. But I mean, even just this scene we're seeing on screen right now would not have been possible on the PlayStation 3. So let's be reasonable and not say things that are too ridiculous. I think that this is in many ways a looker. I don't think it shows super well in trailers, and that's mainly because I think they were using a console version of the game that had much flatter lighting. And secondly, I think it's also because a lot of the detail in this game, as far as I can tell on screen right now, is caught up in the really fine detail of the metal work that you can see on the actual mech as we pan around. And I don't think that shows up after a lot of heavy video compression has been put in. That's why we're filming this with AV1 at 4K 60 with a ridiculous bit rate. So hopefully some of that is captured, whereas it might not have been captured in the original footage that you would see from a place like IGN. I should also clarify that we are running this completely cranked out the wazoo with ray tracing, with everything set to high or ultra, whatever the top setting is. And FromSoft has actually enabled support magically in their engine now for 120 frames per second, which is not something that was previously possible in their engine. Previously with Elden Ring, their last game, the highest you could get the frame rate to was 60. No matter what hardware you were running, what resolution or settings you used, the max it could go was 60 because apparently the animation timings or something were hooked into that. But now it's all better. It supports 120 frames a second, which I think is tremendous. Who knows, maybe it means that Elden Ring will get a patch and will also support 120 FPS. I don't know, a boy can dream. But here we are at the next zone running around, and this also gives you an idea of the scale of these mechs that we're using. I mean, these are full-blown pine trees, and you can see we're pretty beefy. I'm gonna be honest, as somebody that plays Warhammer 40K, I am actually kind of more about it than I was expecting to be. It's just outrageous. And I also love the spectacle, the sheer scale of the set pieces. I'm a sucker for scale. I don't know what to tell you. I just freaking love it when there's something massive before you to just slowly take in. That sounded so freaking sexual. I am so sorry. Sometimes I surprise myself. Assault boost. Ooh, that sounds good. Let's get it. Okay. Follow the markers. Don't have to tell me twice. Now, what I have heard from people that have played this and reviewed it is that this game can actually be significantly harder than many of FromSoftware's previous games that a lot of us in the West might be more familiar with, such as Elden Ring, Dark Souls. The only thing people have been comparing it to is Sekiro, which most people like me find far more difficult than even Elden Ring was. I don't know if that's just because I'm not great at rhythm-based combat. I don't know, it might just be me. I think Sekiro is one of those games that some people found pretty easy because it just clicked with them, and then other people found it very, very difficult to get into. I was one of those that it eventually clicked, but it didn't feel as satisfying as like overcoming the challenges in like Bloodborne or Dark Souls or any of those. I mean, so far these levels are pretty expansive, if we're being real. Like, there's a lot going on in them. There's not a lot of like roaming NPCs or enemies to take out or anything. I mean, I guess there's some over there, so there's that. But I mean, these are still pretty expansive levels. Love it. Can I blow up those tanks? Is that a thing? Oh, you can. Oh, it's like Just Cause. Love it. Yeah, I'll tell you what, already I can tell that this is a game that plays much better than it shows. Like this one, honestly, when I was looking at the trailers, I was like, I just am not getting it, man. It doesn't give me any sort of dopamine hit. It's just not clicking with me for whatever reason. It just wasn't. But actually playing it and with my hands on it, I can get the appeal. Like, I can see how you could just sit down and lose 20 hours to this. Now, granted, we're very, very, very early on, so that might change the moment we hit a boss fight. There we go, way up high. Love it. Here we go. This looks like a boss arena if I've ever seen one. I might recognize this from the previews that they did. It looks vaguely familiar. Oh, God. Oh, no. Bye, everybody. Bye. This is where I die. Oh, Lord. Oh, no. Can I whack it? Oh, I have limited ammo, too. This is not good. This is, dare I say, bad. What if I just play it like I'm playing Dark Souls or something? I just get up and try to slap it upside the face. Is that the play? It is. It has such huge guns. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Okay. Oh, I used my repair kit and he's melting me. Oh, I'm made of jello. Oh, my God. Today is a good day to die. Oh, and I hit the barrier. Oh, God. No. Zoom, zoom. I can't zoom, zoom. I have to recharge. Zoom, zoom. Can I just hide behind buildings? Yes, I can. Okay, that's the pro strat. That's the pro strat. Love it. I'm cowering like a little bitch. Oh. It didn't work. My cowering didn't work. Okay, restart from last checkpoint. Okay. Yeah, we'll try it again, boys and girls. We'll try it again. Oh, but you know what? I have full repair kits now. I started the fight, I think, with 1. So it actually is gonna be easier, in theory, this time with that.
You sure about that?
Ooh. Okay, yeah, it's definitely the play to get up on that booty and to try to just slap it. That's the play. Oh, come on. One good hit. That's all I need. Yeah, that's gonna do it. Oh, baby. Okay. 0 deaths. Okay, and boom goes the dynamite. That was pretty epic. Okay. Touche. Or in the words of the French, touche. Oh, look at this. We get to customize. Oh, baby. Let's see. So you can customize the weapons. You can customize the headpieces. You can tweak like everything if you want to. And they all have different stats, as you can see down there. So this one will give more AP, more firearm specialization. It'll lower the arms load limit though, so they can't carry as much. Interesting. Okay. Oh, those legs be dummy thick. Look at that. Oh, baby. Oh, love it. You see, I was hoping this would happen. I was watching the trailers and the preview events and all this stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna be honest, guys, I just don't get it. It's just not clicking with me. We've all been there. Like, maybe you're just not into real-time strategy games or sim games or something, and you just don't get why other people are really into it. You're like, I'm sure it's fun. I don't get it. It just doesn't click with me. That's been me with Armored Core and mech games. Now that I'm actually in it and I can see and actually understand how interesting and fun it could be to tweak not just like stats in a typical RPG, but like actually build out a different mech, I can totally understand why people would get really, really into this. Oh, and they let you freely change the color too. So they're not even like selling it as packs like every other company in the world would do. You can actually go in and just from the start, customize the color. What's like a really gross color combo? Like ketchup? That's disgusting. That's horrible. Oh my God. What about blue? Is blue better? Is a little better. It still looks like something a kid would make out of Play-Doh. Yeah, what about some like maroon, maybe with some black or gray? Okay, that looks much better. I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of that. And I'm gonna go full chrome. And weathering, maybe we can have it pristine, or we can have it just totally destroyed. Dude, this is pretty cool. I'm gonna be honest. I'm starting to understand the appeal just a little bitty bit. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I want to go too pristine because it is like a freaking machine of death. So you would expect it to be a little worn. I don't want to go like full drug addict weathered body on it. So I'm going to go like a little weathered and call it good there. Oh, dude, you can even like use images that you can like upload. So if you want to put something in here, you can. That's ridiculous. Okay. They put like a lot of effort into this. This is way more than it frankly needs to be. Okay, and then we have a series of missions to complete. If we choose this one, it'll go into a mission briefing and then we'll actually kick it off and get going. Yeah, dude, I don't know if it was just the trailers or not, but like, I feel like the game looks way better in person than it did in those trailers that we got. Again, I don't know if it's just compression. I don't know if it's how they filmed it. I don't know if it's that they were playing on like a PS5 when they should have been recording on PC. I don't know, but I feel like all of this looks way better than it did. Honestly, the PS3 comparison, I know some people are saying it to get a rise out of fanboys, which, let's be honest, is a little funny. But I actually kind of understand it now that I have my hands on the game, because it does feel like a game that you wouldn't expect to have been made in 2023, frankly. Like, not throwing shade or anything, it just seems like every game nowadays that gets produced is like a third-person adventure game, and you very rarely get games of this style anymore. So there is this weird sort of nostalgic feeling. I don't know how to describe it, but it does sort of feel like rewinding 10-15 years, which is strange because I didn't even play these games back in the day. I might have played games kind of like it, but it's just a very weird feeling. I don't know how to even like describe it. Now, another question I saw was, why are they working on this when they should be working on Elden Ring DLC or Elden Ring 2 or whatever else comes next? And this, I think, is just an honest misunderstanding. And it's something I didn't understand until somebody in chat on Luke Stevens Live, my live streaming channel here on YouTube, explained it to me. And that is that Hidetaka Miyazaki, the head honcho at FromSoftware, the guy behind all of these crazy successful games, he did work in pre-production on Armored Core 6 with the core mechanics, movement, controls, that kind of thing. But once the game actually entered full production, he left, passed it off to a previous producer on the other games he's had that are very, very successful, like Dark Souls and Elden Ring, all of those. And he moved on to other projects, presumably DLC for Elden Ring, and then also whatever's coming after that. So all of that to say, I don't think it's fair to conclude that just because this game is coming out, it might not be to your tastes, at least as far as you're aware right now, that they aren't working on anything else. In fact, the guy that you probably are thinking of when you're like, oh, FromSoftware, he basically is FromSoftware. He is still working on all of those projects. This was more a passion project of his that he worked on in pre-production, and then he passed it off to some very capable devs. But it's not like the A-team director, co-directors, all of those guys are working on this. This was technically a spin-off secondary project. Now, the next question I saw, I think, is just honestly a misunderstanding or a misconception or both. And that is, quote, "This game looks really easy compared to the others that they've made. Are they changing their focus and trying to make easy games now?" And this one, again, like I said, I think it's just a misconception or something, because Armored Core is known for being pretty difficult. After all, it's what got FromSoftware started. They're typically considered to be more hardcore games, and this one, by all accounts, is no exception. The last boss fight we did was, I wouldn't say really difficult, but was not easy. I mean, it wasn't a walk in the park. It was a little challenging. Once you figured out the gimmick of just getting close up on him, it was pretty straightforward, but these games are not easy. This is also one of those moments where I can really appreciate the level of detail and customization in building your mech, because I customized and tweaked out my loadout to use this super powerful one-shot cannon that deals ridiculous amounts of damage but only has one round. And as you can see, it slaps, it does good damage, but it takes like 4 seconds to reload. And there's only like 78 total shots for the entire mission, and that's it. And so for this mission, it probably was not the best choice, since there's a lot of little guys I have to track down and take out. But in other missions, like perhaps that one against the helicopter, it would have been a really good choice to bring this gun, because I only need to land the occasional heavy hit against it and be okay. Oh, and just like that, the mission's over. Now, this is another thing that came up during the preview events that worried some people or freaked them out. And that is that some missions are 20 minutes long, 40 minutes long, whatever. And then others can be completed in a matter of like single minutes or 2 minutes or 3 minutes. That mission that we just did there, if I wasn't jabbering and getting distracted, would have only taken just a couple of minutes probably. Instead, it took me like 3 or 4 to get through. And some people looked at that and were like, oh God, so there's going to be some missions that are huge and epic and crazy, and then others that go super quickly? That's lame. And not necessarily. It's just a different game. I mean, again, this is going to be the thing for this game's whole history, and I just need everybody to be prepared for it. I've already kind of been doing it. And that is because FromSoft has made such an insane name for themselves with their last handful of releases over the last decade that have been incredibly popular, have blown that subgenre into a huge genre of its own, to the point where now they're referred to as Souls-like games. Like, they've literally made their own genre. And as a result, people are looking at that company, which is known for this genre, and then going, what is this? Like, this is very different from what you typically do, even though this is what they used to do. This is like their bread and butter. This is what they got started on, what many of them are passionate about. You know, it's kind of like Johnny Depp, where he blew up and became this worldwide sensation, blockbuster boy, as he put it in one interview one time. And everybody fell in love with him and was like, he's so good at these huge, big budget productions. And pretty much any movie he's in is going to make $1 billion, which back in like the 2000s was unheard of at that point, unless you were Titanic. So everybody loved him. And then when he got enough money and decided to start doing what he really wanted to do, he started doing these really weird art piece films that were really obscure, were not always the best, and were just really freaking weird. And it left everybody confused. Like, no, you're really good as Willy Wonka. You're really good as freaking Sweeney Todd or the Mad Hatter. Like, that's what you're good at. Why aren't you doing more of that? And he's like, frankly, this is what I enjoy. I'd rather do this. Another example would be like Nick Cage. Nick Cage is a crazy person, and I love him dearly and would give my life for him in a heartbeat. But he got really well known in, again, the mid-2000s for doing films like National Treasure or Leaving Las Vegas. You know, really feel-good family films, that kind of thing. But apparently his bread and butter are the really weird, obscure movies where he has intimate relationships with bees.
Not the bees! Ah! Oh, my eyes! Eyes! Ah!
Jesus Christ, that was a diatribe. I'm sorry. All I was trying to say is that just because we're not familiar with Armored Core doesn't mean that it is bad. It doesn't mean that it's not the passion project of the devs. It doesn't mean that they shouldn't be allowed to return to it, or that we should throw a fit when they choose to go back to it because it's their roots and what they really, really like. That's not really fair. And who knows, maybe you're going to try it and end up discovering that it's something you didn't even realize you needed in your life. Maybe it's going to be something that you try and you're like, oh God, this is actually pretty good. I kind of love it. Kind of about it. Because that's where I'm at, frankly, after messing around in this game so far, is I didn't realize I wanted this in my life. I didn't realize that I was interested in this kind of game. But now that I'm trying it, I kind of get it. I can see what people are on about, why this was like so exciting for so many people. I mean, frankly, it's probably not a game that I'm gonna like have on my epic game of the year list, not because it's like bad, but just because we've had such an insane year so far. But it is a game that is a pleasant surprise, and I'm kind of digging it. Who knows, maybe by the time I finish it, my opinion might shift and it might be one of those game of the year titles. Who knows? And this is kind of a crazy fight. You're like doing a 1v1 against an AI controlled version of yourself, basically. It's kind of trippy, but it's a very different fight than the one I did against the helicopter. It's good though. It's a different kind of good. Oh, there it goes. I knew the big boom boom stick would come in handy. Oh, I know you wanted to call sign of your own, and now you're dead. I'm very sorry. Return to base. Like that mission, that had to be 90 seconds or something. That felt really, really quick, but it was just a good, quick mini boss fight effectively. And instead of running around a level and trying to find where the mini boss is hidden in what cave or whatever, it's just a mission that you can go on. It's almost like this game takes a solid combat system and it's just like, oh yeah, what if we just cut out the filler of exploring levels to find where they're located, or to find individual encounters or gear and all that stuff? What if we just make it super lean so that it's only action and it's only that combat system? It makes me wonder if we're ever going to get a game with like Dark Souls or Elden Ring or Bloodborne style combat that is in the same structure as this, where you can just select missions and then go hunt this monster, and that's that. Almost like a boss rush mode. I think it would be awesome. I would like to see that, but because we can't have nice things, that probably means we'll never get it. Oh, dude, I can do another missile thing. Oh God, watch out, America. Look at this. Oh God. Okay, let's try double rockets. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, double trouble. Oh, it's a double rainbow. It could be a triple. Oh yeah. Oh, look at that. You know what I think this reminds me of? This is gonna trigger a lot of hardcore Armored Core fans, and I'm sorry about that. This kind of reminds me of that old school, like, PS2 Iron Man game. I don't know why that just came back to me. I was like, this reminds me of something, and I don't know what. I think that's it. I think it reminds me of zipping around as Iron Man, because it had a similar, like, aiming reticle. Oh, dude, that's a throwback. That just took me back, like, 10, 15 years. That's crazy. I feel so old now. Now, what I've just shown you is about the first hour or so of the game whittled down. According to a preliminary Google search, some people are saying that this can take 20 to 25 hours, depending on how you play. Not to mention that there's also a PvP mode. There's all sorts of stuff in this game. And with the crazy amounts of customization, I could see people doing multiple runs of this easily. So if you're looking for a quick game to tide you over until Starfield comes out next week, for early access, and I guess in 2 weeks for regular full release, this could very well be a great option for you. And there were a handful of questions we didn't really get to that I think were mainly answered just in the gameplay of this. There's a ton of variability. There's a ton of customization. I think the game graphically looks way better now at release than it did in any of the trailers or gameplay demos or anything. Whether that's because of more polish or just because we're playing on PC and not on console, I'm not sure, but I don't think the game looks bad. And in terms of design style, I think it stands on its own. It is a very unique game, and I don't think we're gonna see anything else like this released from another big studio anytime this year. So let me know what you think of Armored Core 6 if you're gonna be picking up and if you're interested in trying it yourself. Otherwise, definitely come over to Luke Stevens Live. Just search Luke Stevens Live in the YouTube search bar. Come over, say hi. I'm probably live when this video launches, so you can just come over, say, hey dude, what's up? It'll be super cool. We have a great time over there, and we post all sorts of stream highlights and stuff that just doesn't fit on this main channel, so it's a good time. And who knows, maybe we'll play more Armored Core 6 on stream tomorrow when you see this. I don't know. But with that said, thank you for watching. I love you all dearly. Hugs and kisses. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.